I'm late. I just don't give.
Hey, yo. You rocking with the best known unknown podcast on the internet. It's your boys right here, Late to Work, now live with episode 31. We're getting older in our old age. It's your boy Money Mitch, aka King Lear, aka the light skinned Lord of the Flies, aka the mixed skin Messiah, aka Daddy Longstroke, the motherfucking clitoris Wrangler, aka the dreadhead nigga in your lobby, your everyday entrepreneur. It's at Mitch Games with a Y, 'cause I'm a little bit again. All your preferred social media platforms. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to find me. I'm here rocking with my funniest man in Rhode Island. It's
only Chris Allen, the Black Hank Moody. Shank Moody, maybe Tank Moody, I don't know.
Yo, it sounds different in every episode, dog. Your accent, I never know.
Oh, man. Sweet James Jones Jr., the young OG, Midwest Best, Midwest Half, wherever you find me at, yo. Episode 38.
38? 31. Jeez, shit. I mean,
it's been a long Monday.
Yo, for real. Yeah, we're recording this on Monday this week. My man doing a little bit of traveling. I got a whole bunch of work stuff going on this week. So we bounced around a little bit. Where are you going anyway?
I'm just going to be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire for a day. Then I'm going to have a meeting in, I think, like Devon's or something the second
for
day.
For work or for gig?
No, for work.
Oh.
Yeah.
That ain't no fun. So
I'm gonna try to do some comedy out there, at least in Portsmouth. So
get a couple mics and stuff.
Yeah, see what they working with out there.
I always forget that about like the mic scene. Like it's not like you need to know anybody. You can just go like
exactly.
I can go drive to Pennsylvania and go hit a mic if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Nobody would fucking know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe that's how I'll start doing comedy. I'll just do comedy in weird places. I'll do a mic in like fucking Henniker, New Hampshire. Go to like Kittery, Maine, like all these weird fucking places.
But half of the shit is just like the building with people and letting people know, because you go in these outskirts and shit.
Oh yeah,
and then, you don't like.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it's a good place to like test out material and like to bomb on a crowd that you're never gonna see again.
Yeah.
Like the people I'm trying to build, I want to see me again. I don't want to see like them to watch me bomb 9 times. They ain't coming back for the 10th.
No, bombing's part of it, man. That's
I know it's part of it. I just don't want it to be most of it.
Yeah, well, people know, like they see you work, like, because I've seen this. I've seen a guy like who started off awful, and then like I'll see him like months later and be like, oh man, I can tell this guy's been working. But you can tell the people who haven't been working, they're doing the same shit, trying to recook that, reheat that food up, and it's not working. So yeah,
I mean, everybody out here just trying to do their best.
Yeah.
But some people.
But are you trying to do? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
are you working?
Are you working?
Are you really grounded?
I go through material. That's probably my. Probably to a default, because I like flipping material. I like writing. So like I probably got like this weekend I'm gonna try and go back to old shit and like rework it, rewrite it, and see if
you can make some chicken salad.
Yeah. Sometimes you just like move on. You have a better ideal and you just want to use that shit.
I feel that way about my writing all the time. It's like I go back and like some stuff I used to love that, like I remember I did like a whole purge of like a lot of my writing online not that long ago. And like you go through and it's like I used to like share this with people, like, God, this is terrible. And then other things I'd find, I'd be like, I hated this when I wrote this like 5 years ago. And now it's like, fucking frame it and put it on the wall. Like, this is like my shit. You know what I mean? It's like, you can learn like a lot from like past you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Even though I spend too much time on social media, like everybody else in the world, like one of my favorite things in all of social media is like fucking the Facebook memory shit. Because like, I had some rants back in the day. Like unmedicated 2012 Mitch is on some shit. And every once in a while some shit will pop up and I'm just like, I ain't thought like that in a minute. Like, good looks, 22-year-old Mitch. You're an insightful fellow at 4:30 in the morning. And other times I'm like, that's gonna get you fired one day.
I feel like I need to be more on social media, because I don't like to just like post shit out there in the world.
I know. We'd have more fucking listeners if you did.
I need it. It's definitely something I need to fucking work. I just not on social media that much. Like I'll hop.
Which is funny for a guy in like the age of social media that's so image driven. That somebody who takes a shit ton of pictures, that you don't really like fuck with social media.
Nah, I don't really.
Because you always got the camera out.
Yeah, but it's usually like for like videos and shit like that. But yeah.
IG popping, bro.
Yeah, but I am. It's something that's like on my thing to do, is to be like more on social media, not allowing it to like dictate who I am or like.
And that's the fine line. Is like I'm very, you can ask anyone who knows me. Like I'll be the first to fall into the social media rabbit hole, but for me, it's like it's hard to acknowledge that something is happening and not give it my attention if it's something that like I find interesting or I find like rewarding, or if I just find like isn't getting enough attention. And there's so like now at the rate where like news is available, like you can see something that will grab your eye and there's 5,000 different opinions, facts, videos, whatever you want to like go find on it. So like I don't believe anything. I'm super skeptical. So it's like I want to figure out where's that middle ground, like we talk about all the time, right? Like where's the truth in this? And so like to do that in the fucking internet age, like you're giving me too many options. If I was born like 40 years ago, this would have been dope because I'd get fascinated with something. I'd read like a book, maybe an encyclopedia entry. That'd be good. That'd be all the information that's available to me. Maybe once in a while, if I got like really rich in my old age, I'd go like interview a few people. And that would be that. But now it's like, nah. I'm gonna be in subreddits. I'm gonna be in fucking weird Russian forums. I'm gonna be checking fucking Wikipedia like reference lists to see like what they were tagging shit from. So no, it's too much for me. I need to get off the internet. Yeah,
I almost got sucked in yesterday. I hopped on Facebook and I saw two of my friends from college arguing about the fucking the Sacramento shooting. And
oh good, I want to get into this. Okay.
And so the one who's like a close buddy of mine, he's a comedian now in Chicago, and he's liberal, and he's like he put up the sign that like about Stephan Clark getting shot like 20 times or whatever. He got shot, but they apprehended the one dude from the Parkland shooting.
Yeah, Nicholas Cruz.
Yeah, without like pretty peacefully. And so my other buddy who lives out in he's like an ex-Marine and or ex-military in some sort, Asian dude, but like super right. He was like, well, that sign doesn't make any sense because like Stephan Clark, they got a message that someone is breaking into cars, and that he was actively like doing it at the time, and like a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense for someone to get shot. And he was like, actually, he got shot like 7 times or 6 times or whatever, like times, like and it was like, and he's like, he's a criminal, and why are you trying to? So
what do you call a mass shooter?
Exactly, but he was like, oh, and then Cruz was, he would blend in with the students, and they called him outside of the school. I think they called him like at a restaurant. He was sitting there.
You couldn't have shot him.
I mean,
it seems like if you could shoot me in my backyard for an iPhone, you could shoot me with an arsenal of weapons in a McDonald's.
Well, I don't think if they can apprehend him without shooting him, like
that's like you're supposed to do. I'm happy they do their job. For him.
This dude shouldn't get shot in the back.
Yeah.
For breaking into cars.
This is the shit that drives me wild with this argument whenever like these shootings happen, and like I don't even call it the left or the right or whatever, like the right and the wrong and the wrong people seem to always have this argument that like no matter how petty the crime, you deserved it.
Yeah. And or you shouldn't have been doing that, or you were doing right, then it's like,
and what gets lost in that argument is like, let's take it at face value. Cops are the good guys, right? Cool. Good guys are supposed to do the right thing. There is a protocol for police behavior and how police are supposed to handle certain situations.
Yeah.
They are given leeway with that protocol, right? For extreme circumstances. But by and large, good people, good cops, abiding by the protocol. Every one of these situations I look at goes against anything anyone I've ever talked to who's worked in police or any other law enforcement agency or even military members have told me. Like, there is, I look at that shooting and like watching the video and it's like, not only to think like he had a gun when he didn't, and like whatever, like we've heard that lie a million times, like I'm used to it now. To then lie about it afterwards, and then to change the story multiple times. Like, what do we always hear? Like, well, they never can get their story straight about like criminals, right? Like they said he had a gun, then they said he had a crowbar, then they said they had an unidentifiable object before they noted that he had a phone.
Yeah.
So like you change the story 4 times. How are we supposed to trust you, right? You're acting like a criminal now, and like you're hunting people down.
Yeah.
For what is that like? What's the max penalty for like breaking and entering if you stole something super valuable out of a car? Like 5 years, 7 years?
Yeah, I think max.
Yeah, if you had a weapon, maybe 12.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If we're throwing the book at people, tack on resisting or whatever other bullshit they throw you. Let's go 15 years.
Yeah.
Homicide is 25, right?
Yeah.
Homicide, like murder 1.
Yeah.
So why are we murdering people? Like that just don't match up. Like you can't use that level of force in a situation where like the crime that you're alleging this person to have committed isn't one that bears violence.
Okay, but
like nobody breaks into cars looking to kill people.
Yeah, but
so you can't say you reasonably fear for your life if you're like a stable person.
If we're giving them the benefit of the doubt, it's dark. This guy's breaking in the car. They don't know what they're arriving to in the scene. If you believe their story, they see something. Oh shit! All it takes is one guy to be like, "That's a gun," and fire. Then it's just a wrap after that. Because once they hear one guy fire, then the other cops are shooting.
And I hear all that.
If you're giving the benefit of the doubt,
and that's fair. And that brings me to my second point. Now, previously we were talking overarching like all these different cases. In this case specifically, and in many other cases, but in this case specifically, the thing that bothers me most, and I guess this is probably applicable to a lot of them, is there's no attempt at de-escalating the situation. There's no attempt at disarming. One cop yells, "Hey," the other one yells, "Gun," and then they open fire.
Yeah.
It's literally 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, he comes around the corner of the building, sees somebody, yells, "Hey," ducks back around the corner of the building, another cop shouts, "Gun," and they all open fire.
Yeah.
Where in the police protocol is that?
I have no clue. And it's the
I'm
sad
just,
thing.
like, I'd love to have a cop on to explain that to me. Because,
Yeah.
like, there's no way you can look at me with a straight face and say, in the dead of night, you rounded a corner and in under 2 seconds identified he was holding a gun.
Yeah.
That is absolutely impossible to do. No human could do that. So you have, like, the excuse of, like, I feared for my life just seems to give, like, so much leeway to that. The term they use all the time, legally is discretion, right? Is any discretion being shown? And you know what I mean? Like, no one. And so, not to get too sidetracked here, but there's another video I saw. I don't know if you saw this. There's a pastor down in Georgia. It's like one of these strip mall churches, right?
Yeah.
And apparently, I've read a couple different articles on it, whatever. I don't know what exactly happened, but by the sound of it, this is kind of like one of those weird religious sect like churches, like cult kind of churches. The teenage son of this pastor got some girl pregnant. They kidnapped the pregnant girlfriend. So the cops are here to collect the pregnant girlfriend. And whatever, they got the car door open, they're getting the girl out of the car, and the other cop is outside the car, and he's yelling at them to back up. Now they're not backing up, but there's an obvious language barrier here. Everybody's yelling back and forth, half English, half Spanish. And the woman who's filming this is yelling at the son and the dad, translating for them, like, you need to move back, you need to move back. Within saying back up twice, she pans the camera. The other cop is like tossing around this old lady, not old, 50s, mother, you know what I mean? Like grabbing her, like throwing her around. Pans back. The cop has his billy club to the kid's throat, then takes the billy club back to start going at his knees.
This was on WorldStar, right?
Yeah, this was on.
I saw this.
And people's reactions to this were, well, they shouldn't have attacked the cop. They were like, the cop had a reason to fear for his life. The cop showed great restraint, not shooting anybody. In what world is that great restraint? If you start beating me with a club, I'm going to grab your arm to stop you from beating me with a fucking club.
Yeah.
And this gets back to the same argument of like, if I'm the regular person and you're the trained, certified good guy, right? Why are you instigating violence?
Yeah.
And when you instigate violence, why are you not prepared for the reaction to violence that would be like most likely, aka defense?
Yeah, we're
not talking about them swinging back. I'm talking about me grabbing your arm to prevent you from hitting me.
In that case, I think, and I watched the video once.
Let me just get this out, because this is the other thing that bugs me. Because like every argument that we made to that is they're deserving of that treatment because of they're kidnappers, they're criminals, they're fucked up people. Presuming all of that to be true and presuming the cops to be the good guys, assuming they are 1,000% guilty, it's still wrong. Like, people, regardless of their guilt, have right to due process.
Yeah.
They have right to be treated fairly by police until they've gone through the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
Not that that's a particularly fair system. So if we can't even get to that point now, like we're all just championing, like, again, great restraint in not shooting people. We're saying in most cases, the go-to should just be like, fuck it, he's a criminal.
Yeah,
kill him.
Exactly.
And that's
especially,
insane.
It's like great restraint. They're like, in that case, in both of these cases, but especially in that case, they knew these people weren't armed.
You're right.
And now
you're in a church.
There were
five people. Two of them are teenagers, two of them are old people.
In their defense, there were, in the cops' defense, they were not like, and maybe a language barrier, but they weren't following the cops' instructions. So, as you know, if the cops want to get leeway in any court, you know, if they were like, oh, dude, get down on the ground, they're coming with me, and they're like, you know, no.
So here's the question I pose to people, right? If a cop tells you to back up, and you don't back up, but you don't move forward, do you deserve to be assaulted?
No, you don't.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, there's the law isn't I have to comply with every order given to me by a police officer. The law is like, I can't be posing a threat to you, I can't be aggressing towards you, I can't be escalating the situation, but I'm not under arrest here.
Exactly.
I can stand here on my own property in my own family's parking lot outside of my own family's car as a teenage kid as I'm watching you manhandle my mother. Yeah, I think it's the best I can probably manage is to stand still.
Yeah.
Whether I'm paralyzed by fear or I just want to jump down your fucking throat and kill you, I'm doing neither right now.
Yeah.
And you can't act as though I'm aggressive because I'm trying to understand your commands and not moving while I'm trying to parse out what you're telling me.
And for some reason, I don't want to go into a huge deep because I forget exactly what happened in the video. I wish we could play the video, but I'm not sure about the legal.
We don't want to get taken down on SoundCloud again. We're definitely we'll post it on our Facebook, Twitter.
I do think that is different than, if I remember correctly, than this case. Oh, let me just read. This should be like a segment of like this week's like Facebook battles, and then we should just all right. So just to get back to,
only knew.
So my buddy said after he posted the sign,
Clark,
the sign says Stephan Clark was shot 20 times by Sacramento police because his cell phone was mistaken for a gun. Nicholas Cruz shot 33 children, killing 17 in Parkland, Florida, but walked out of the school in police custody. See the problem? All right, so
and that's not 100% true because, as we said earlier, he walked out of the school blending in with the kids and was apprehended later. He didn't. The cops didn't walk him out of the scene.
Exactly. And what my buddy who was pretty right wing said, pretty sure Cruz blended in with the kids, escaped down the street, and police later caught him eating at the restaurant. My other buddy said, definitely lefty not too. That was the righty. The lefty said, definitely not the point. If you read the 20 times shot part, thank you for your participation. And then my buddy said, right wing said, shot 6 times after someone in the neighborhood called the police, multiple vehicle break-ins, and being followed by police helicopters, watching them jumping fences in different backyards, checking cars with a crowbar. 2 different cases, literally nothing in common. So the sign makes no sense. And one of the officers that shot Clark was black.
I'll let you want me to respond?
My initial response is, how does crowbar turn into a cell phone, into a gun, into to your point?
Yeah. Story's never been
nothing that if I was an officer, and obviously I have no experience as an officer, so I don't know how they approach situation, but I'm not approaching the situation like this is a dangerous man that I need to be killing.
Not anything of what he just described sounds like something I need to shoot somebody or even bring a gun for, really.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I used to do B&Es and I've had my house broken into multiple times. I've confronted people doing robberies. I've been around people doing robberies. I shouldn't say I've done B&Es. I've been present for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've definitely been around those people.
Well, let me
not one time was there ever a gun.
Let me read this last rant, and then I want your response.
I want to respond to the part about him, the officer being black as well.
It say after police reviewed the the 3 videos, the helicopter shows that after police called because cars had been broken into regularly in this neighborhood, that the particular night Clark had broken in 3 and crowbarred his way into a man's house. The helicopter then followed the man as he jumped the fence after fence hacking other cars. I don't know what that is. Cops arrived, ordered him to stop. He pointed what they thought was a gun at them and they fired. He was a criminal. He wasn't on his phone sipping a Corona, chatting at it in his grandma's backyard. The cops were chasing him with a helicopter, no less after he committed multiple crimes, fled from the police. He was using his grandma's house as a base to break into vehicles and hiding back there if someone saw him. Okay, I don't see why you're defending a criminal. If someone broke into your house while your wife or child was there alone, I guess we would chalk it up as fine.
Again, not something you would shoot somebody for, in my opinion. Also, I've yet to see this video of him breaking into houses. I've seen the video of him hopping fences.
Okay,
but again, like to my earlier point, presuming 1,000% guilt, the action is still not justifiable.
Yeah.
And the whole bit about like ordered to stop and he pointed something at them, like I don't know what video he watched. Like I watched the body cam footage. He never points anything at him. He literally turns around with his hands up, with a phone in one hand. Then the other officer yells gun, and then he turns to run because he knows he's about to be shot. Yeah. He shot once in the heart, which if that's your first shot is in the left side of the chest, you're not shooting to wound somebody. You're not shooting to apprehend somebody.
I think cops are trained to shoot center mass. So
fair, but like looked like a good shot. I'll say that. Yeah. So shot him once in the heart, turned to run. He got hit twice in the side, and the other 5 were in the back. Seems a little overkill. 20 shots fired total.
Yeah,
20 shots for a B&E.
For a B&E, yeah.
Supposedly multiple B&Es and crowbarring his way into somebody's home. I certainly didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, if you crowbar somebody into somebody's home, they called the cops, right? When they gave you the description of the guy who just broke into the home, usually if that guy's armed, he probably, I don't know, threatened you with a weapon?
Yeah.
So in the description, no weapon is mentioned. In the description of all the other crimes committed, no weapon is mentioned. You got a helicopter and 8 cops out?
Yeah.
You feel that just seems overkill to me.
It does, and
you can't argue to me that that's necessary to keep the community safe. It's simply not, and I know that because I know criminals and I have common sense.
Yeah, and I just can't justify anyone losing their life or breaking into.
That's what I mean. You can't take somebody's life for what? Like a car stereo, a set of golf clubs, a case of champagne. Yeah. Like what's in your car? At best, a watch.
And now, if
a laptop,
if Clark is my friend, my brother, my cousin, I'm still thinking, damn man, like, don't put yourself in that position.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
and
that's to the cops. That's to the cops' credit, because I'm sure this cop didn't want to kill anyone. How do you think that's what? We can't.
I don't know how long you want to stay on this because I want to get to the Alton Sterling video that came out as well, and this is a bit of like this is my point. It's hard to tell anymore. I don't know this cop. Did you see the Alton Sterling video that came out?
Yeah.
The cop confronts him, and literally within less than 10 seconds, he tells him to put his hands on the hood or whatever. He's going over to the car to do that, grabs him, throws him on the hood, all that, par for the fucking course as we know cops, right? Literally less than 10 seconds into this video, he's got his gun to his head and says, if you fucking move, I will blow your fucking brains out. Move and I will fucking kill you. If that's your that's your approach. And Alton Sterling's crime was selling bootleg CDs, by the way, outside of a convenience store.
Yeah.
If that's the approach for selling bootleg CDs, you want to kill somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where the line is, but I don't think it's at B&E either.
It's definitely
We gotta stop treating every criminal as a threat to one's life.
Exactly.
I said this earlier this week, and I'm sorry to cut you out. There's just a lot I want to say on this. I guess like people keep citing like the dangers of being a police officer, right? And I say this slightly in jest because I understand being a police officer is a dangerous job in some respects. But out of about 1 million police officers in the line of duty in America, just under 150 got shot last year, died last year on the job.
Yeah,
that's 1 in 7,000 roughly. My math teacher girlfriend can check that for me. It's more dangerous to be a professional basketball player. Dude in the G League just died on the court. Yeah. There's less than 1,000 professional basketball players in America.
Yeah,
that's 1 in 1,000. You can make the argument. It's way more dangerous to be a coal miner.
Yeah,
way more dangerous to be a fucking stunt car driver. There's plenty of dangerous professions, is what I'm saying. At no point in my life have I ever seen anyone on a basketball court go up for a layup, do contest at the rim, and then he pulled out a Glock and shot him because he was in imminent fear for his life.
Here's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, here's the thing.
That shit just don't add up, bro.
But here's the thing. I think you have to equate the fact that they're dealing with the worst people on a daily basis, and I think that is the problem. That's why they have an issue. That's why these cops are having an issue de-escalating these situations that could be resolved by them taking a deep breath, approaching it, not to put themselves in harm's humanely, not to put themselves in harm's way, but to be like, okay, like let's not go to 10 right away. Let's just see what's going on. Hey, sir, we got a call about this. Are you selling CDs?
Right.
Like, yes or no? No? All right. Well, regardless, the owner doesn't want you here. So I don't want to see you here. They said you were selling CDs. This is private property. You got to go.
Yeah.
Now maybe,
which isn't hard to do because I know 1 billion people have had that conversation with a cop in their lives.
Exactly.
Whether you were loitering as a teenager, you were out too late to pass curfew, whatever the fucking thing was. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But when you're on the end of this, when you're
trying to get on a bar underage, all that shit.
Yeah, but when you're at the end of your shift, you've dealt with, let's say you dealt with domestic abuse, you dealt with a child abuse, you dealt with, a drunken bar fight, you dealt with someone who left their kids in the house. Now you show up to this and you're like, you're already on fucking 10. So you're like, man, I ain't got fucking time for this. I just see the worst people, and this guy is now slumped in with the people that he's seen today. That is a problem. And now,
how do we fix that?
That is, there has to be some tools in order. One, it's a fucking, it's a difficult job, and I'm trying to be.
It is, and I shouldn't downplay it like I have throughout this episode because I just am furious with police officers.
And you should be. We should be furious with the loss of life over things that they should have legally the right to be arrested and have a trial and have their day in court. They shouldn't be losing their life. It shouldn't be judge and jury out in the street. But there needs to be some tactics to be like, okay, here's how we approach this. And like, and I don't know. I don't want to like make a solution when I've not spent one day out there in the field with them. But they need to have like who's the one guy from Baltimore? I think his name is Michael Wood Jr. He's a Baltimore. It's like a veteran Baltimore police officer who's retired. He makes a lot of speeches on how to reshape law enforcement. You need a guy like this guy to come in and be like, look, this is how we handle it. In Baltimore, he was in Baltimore when Baltimore was the worst. And so you need guys like this to go in there and reframe the system and figure out why, how to de-escalate these situations in order to, deal with these situations and the stresses of police work, so people aren't the minimum amount of people are losing their lives.
I just want to make sure I got her name right because obviously we are a New England-based podcast. I should point out to the credit of trying to do something about it. Ayanna, I hope I'm pronouncing her first name right, Presley. She's running for state senate, I believe, this year, or rather state rep to replace Michael Capiano. One of the planks of her platform that she's running on is a promise to equip every police police car, I don't know what you call that, police set of partners, duo. What do you call them? I don't even know. Detail, I guess.
Like
beat. I guess it's beat, right? I don't know. Whatever. Like every patrol. There we
patrol.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah, every patrol with a ride along, essentially like social worker, like negotiator almost, specifically to de-escalate what can be tense situations when they don't need to be.
Yeah.
Is that a fair way of phrasing that? So essentially they would have like a ride-along console in the car, and like they would be the first interactor with them with the backup of cops, if you will.
Yeah.
And, them de-escalating the situation and the cops protecting her or him as like the negotiator, if you will. I love that idea. I already voted for Presley as my like city councilor. Living in Boston, she'll be getting my vote again. But I think a lot of people should check her out if you are in the Boston area. And to your point, we need more of those kind of people doing something about it. So if you're in Baltimore, go check out Michael Wood. But if you're in Boston, Ayanna Presley helps the cause.
Yeah. I tried to find Michael Wood's Twitter. Maybe this is it. I don't know. He's on it. Because some nerdy white kid shows up. But he might get kicked off of Twitter. Twitter's been fucking weird as far as
Twitter.
Just check out Joe Rogan's podcast with Michael Wood Jr. and that'll give you a breakdown of his theories and so forth.
Chris Thomas plugging a Joe Rogan podcast.
I know.
No
imagine
way.
that. You know,
it's never happened.
And he's on IG as Michael Wood Jr. at Michael Wood Jr.
There you go. Awesome.
Michael A. Wood Jr. So
Michael A. Wood. All right. Do you have anything else you want to touch on the Stephan Clark thing?
No. I mean, I think this is going to be one of those situations like we saw. If anyone watched Netflix 7 Seconds, I think it's a sobering reality of what happens in these situations. And that is, and I don't want to give up the ending, but we've seen this movie before.
Yeah, and we're probably going to see it again until we do something. Let me also take this time, because we spent a lot of time on gun control in the past few weeks, as everyone in the fucking country has.
Yeah.
Like, let me make it very clear to people, even though I'm advocating for many other quote-unquote common sense like gun reforms, one of the things I think is probably most important in changing gun culture, not just gun legislation, is demilitarizing the police force, man. Like, I get, like, to your point about, the danger of the job and all that, like, the world is more dangerous than ever. Criminals will forever be more resourceful and more armed and more dangerous. But, like, there's something to be said for if I have the option available, it's a lot easier to use it. And when we train cops to, ride around with shotguns in the trunk and I don't know if I forget what city it was, just armed police officers with AR-15s in the back of bicycle cops.
Jesus.
What you need an AR-15 for on a bike route?
Exactly.
Bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like the number one customer of the Department of Defense is U.S. police forces.
Yeah.
Like, they sell all the military surplus to cops. So, like, we have cops running around with Humvees. We got cops that have fucking tanks. We got cops. Obviously, we have cops with enough shit that we send helicopters for B&Es. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just seems like we're living in not a police state, a militarized police state, and that's as close to a war zone as you can get. And there's no need for the supposed freest country in the world to live like that. And we need to take a hard, sobering look at not just all of us and our gun fetishes, but who we call a hero just because they carry around a gun in the street. Yeah, and that's for the criminals and the good guys. That's all I got on that.
That's all we can say about that.
Quick update on other legal related things, I guess. We touched on the end of Craigslist Personals with some fun stories last week. I do want to say I've been reading some stuff about the SESTA-FOSTA, and that's a very long acronym. It's two separate bills that are kind of conjoining, but essentially the idea of the bill, as I read up on it, is to combat places that enable human trafficking. Obviously a lot of the issue, like it is with a lot of legislation that's hastily written and swayed by lobbyists, is like it seeks to attack one thing and attacks a lot of others that are tangential. And so if a lot of things can be seen as enabling sex trafficking in or human trafficking rather, but most commonly as we think about it in our heads and as practice in real life, people are humanly trafficked for sex work. And so most places that are going to be affected are going to be places that promote active sex work, and that whether that's Craigslist, whether that's Backpage, whether that's whatever sites. The unseen ramification of this, I think, for a lot of people is the dating app world, where like we all, occasionally probably get our bots for like a chat site or something like that in our Tinder. I get them all the time on Grindr, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, wherever you're at, and like. As these other places on the internet shut down, we talked earlier. It's like, what happened? Like, where do the hoes go?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's like, well, the hoes is gonna go on a Tinder, bro. And you go swipe right, and she's gonna send you a DM that says 150.
Dude, I just
and like, I guess I'm saying that to say like, don't be surprised if like this act becomes the death of some of your favorite dating platforms.
Yeah, there's just gonna be swamped. Dude, one time
you're getting background checked for him.
One time I was on that app. And this girl was like, I matched with this girl, beautiful girl, cute girl, and then she was like, hey, like, chatted for a little bit, and she was like, hey, well, something, I'm out here trying to get money, so like, I'm sending my pictures, $5 for a certain amount of clothing, $20.
So that's like a real thing. Yeah, a lot of people do that now.
Yeah, but I was like, well, me. I was like, no, you ain't gotta go. I said something like, no, you gotta get a real job.
So the nigga spends $1,000 at the strip club.
Different, like, and then like she started getting offensive. She was like something. She's like insulting me and shit like that, which is like
we gotta have a girl on who like does that sort of shit because that I'll never understand. Why are you offended that I don't want to give you money to see you naked?
Exactly, and then maybe because I said no, you gotta get a real job. Because I was like, dude, I'm not.
Sex work is real work.
I'm not sending you no money to take no goddamn pictures. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. And then she was like something. She was like,
I'm
she
not
started
paying
bragging.
For photos, bro.
Yeah, she started bragging about like how much money she makes and how much. And like she's like, well, calling me dumb for like working a real job and going to cool. She was like digging into me. But like me, like I don't have like a conscience, or I don't like have normal feelings. Like I'm a comic, like you can't insult me. I don't get insulted really. So I was just like, all right, well, like let me send you over this EBT card, see how much that what will that give me? and then she got really mad. She was like. And then she
petty over here for real.
I know, and I don't even know why I was wasting my time.
I was just bored. Why wouldn't you? Once you're in it, you're in it, dog.
Exactly. So I said, she said something else like, something like she was like trying to like, oh, you're stupid, something like that. You probably got a bunch of student loan and blah blah blah. I was like, all right, cool. And she was like, I was like, oh, please, since you know so much, bestow your wisdom upon me. And then like, I forget how it ended. Oh, and she was like she was an idiot. She was like, yeah, I'm invested in like 30 companies. I have so many different income streams. I was like, well, it seems like a poor investment of your time and energy to be selling your news for $5 to $20. So I was like, well, what do I know? I'm just a stupid college boy.
I think that, right? And I agree with you. I don't think many are this savvy. But then I think about it sometimes, and it's like, so I have friends who are, like, I have a couple friends who are like cosplayers, right? And it's like, are you in the anime type of shit or not? Not really.
In the what?
Like anime and that kind of shit?
No.
Yeah, neither am I really. But like, I worked for a company a while ago. We had to do like a project, or I ended up at Anime Boston, so I met a bunch of people and like learned a lot more about like the world, I guess. And side note, just a lot of cosplayers just really fucking hot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like not men and women. Like yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're like professional models, except that like they need like their appearances, their looks as a model is supposed to be like animated level perfect. So like the effort to achieve that in real life is insane. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like it looks pretty good on most people.
Yeah, I mean I've followed a couple of girls and so they're amazing.
I say this to say, it's like having talked to a bunch of them, like this is what they love to do anyway. It's just like model whatever. And it's like you have all these fucking nerdy geek dudes who like couldn't approach a hot girl in real life if they wanted to, fucking jerking off to hentai all the time. It's like you take like one set of photos from like a modeling gig as a cosplayer. You're selling those at $10, $15, $20 a photo or photo set or whatever. And you just got like you amass a following on social media and all that. All of a sudden you got like 1,000 dudes in your inbox and you're just sending them all the same photos.
Yeah.
At $30 a whack.
Yeah.
1,000 dudes, that's 30 racks, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't think if you're on Tinder trying to get them off, you're clearly not on that level.
Exactly.
But I do think there's a business
You
there.
Patreon page.
That's what I mean. You ain't got a Patreon.
You a Patreon page.
You better at least be hitting me with like an IG link with a preview shot.
Exactly.
Like, I know you ain't out here bullshit. Like, you gonna send me some shit off an iPhone, and I ain't with that, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, you trying to get that high res, that 4K? I might slide you a 10.
I'm not. I'm still
joking.
not.
No, I'm not.
Still not.
I'm not paying for photos. Period.
Exactly.
I really like. I'm not here to shame anybody. We're a sex positive podcast. We say that all the time. You would suck if you paying for photos, dog.
I'm not paying for anything. That's my like. Unless I'm in a strip club and it's an atmosphere thing, then I respect those girls. I respect the atmosphere and that we're in there. We're gonna be doing our thing. I'm not just taking no space.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, because I've heard this like often from specifically male, like straight male friends of mine. Mm-hmm. It's different. Like, I would never pay for sex, but the strip club, like, I respect the environment. It's what you do while you're there. Mm-hmm. Then why are you there? If you supposedly wouldn't pay for things like photos, right? Mm-hmm. Why are you going to an establishment knowing that, like, part of the establishment is you paying to see half to fully nude women?
Well, here's the thing. This is the way I look at it. I go there because it's like if I'm with my friends and it's just like a guy's thing, it's like going to a sports bar. Besides, there's titties there.
Right, but here's the thing. I can go to a sports bar and spend $30 to $50 on beers and wings and like catch the game with my buddies. Mm. But instead, you go to a place to pay women to get naked.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But you say you wouldn't pay women to get naked in other scenarios.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is like I'm going there because my boys want to go there, and it's I'm part of the crew, and when I'm there, I look at it as like any retail store. Like, space is money, so I'm in their domain. They're earning. Like I'm.
No, that's fair. I respect that.
Let me take care of them. You know,
so you've never brought the idea up to go to a strip club? It's never been your idea. You never been like, yo, let's go to a strip club tonight.
Probably if it was at the end of the night or something like that, and we.
So how can you say you never paid for it then? You're paying for it.
I'm not just paying for like. What do you mean? I'm not paying for like for pictures or for like some chick to go down on me or anything like that. I'm just it's not going down.
I guess but like philosophically, what's the difference between like I'm paying for you to rub your titties in my face and I'm paying for you to like jerk my dick?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a line that, you know, we all got lines, and why we have those lines.
No, that's what we get into on this podcast. Exactly. Why do we have these lines? I'm curious why you have this line.
I don't. It's just my line. It's just like, yo, like.
Would you get a happy ending like at a massage parlor?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't go to. I've never even like went and got a massage parlor thing. So,
like a massage?
No, I've never even got a massage.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I get massages all the time, man.
I've been thinking about like doing it because like my fucking just sore, you know, lifting and shit. Mm. But yeah, I don't know.
It was I used to get a lot of massages back like before I started going to the gym and shit actually. Mm. And I realized how much it was helping because my body was so sedentary. Mm. It was like nice to massage the muscles and get them moving, get the blood flowing and all that. So I used to get massages like probably twice a month.
I think I think there is the level like the strip club when it goes to that level of intimacy. I don't like the feeling of like it's part of it is that she wants to be here and that because there's a connection. And now if I'm paying for it, that
wait, you think that when you're in the strip club?
No, not in the strip club. I mean, the strip club is just like I'm occupying space. Cool. These girls are working. Yeah.
So you're saying like if you want to be with somebody in that way, you want that?
Yeah, that for me, and you know, part of it's probably like my ego and my low self-esteem. But like I want to be. You know, part of like being with someone is that fact that they want to do this. I don't even like I like women who are like kind of aggressive. Like I kind of need that feeling of like they want to be here, and maybe that's because like self-esteem issues. Like I that's part of it. That's a huge part of it for me is that like I need to feel like the woman wants to be here. Now I have at the end of that I have to like give you like $50. $100, $200. Like you don't want to do this. That's why it's work because you don't want to do this, and it's like it doesn't feel. or beforehand, obviously it would probably be beforehand. But like I don't like that. I don't like the feeling like part of it being intimate is the fact that like you want to be here, you want to do this, and this is cool.
No, I mean I agree with all that. I just like I get like we've talked about this before. Like I hardly view all sexual acts as intimate.
Yeah.
If that were the case, I wouldn't be in an open relationship. You know what I mean? Like
But still, okay. So like you're in an open relationship. So
I'm not hiring hookers. Let me put that on the record. I'm not paying to cheat on my girlfriend.
FYI, speaking of open relationship, Aubrey Marcus, he does a podcast with Ari Shaffir just about his open relationship. It was amazing. Yeah, a great podcast. And he does Tim Ferriss's podcast too. He kind of touches on it, but he goes really like Ari Shaffir is all about it, and like. But good.
Ari Shaffir is a great guy to just get weird with.
So like listen to that and like update me. Like let's have a discussion about it next podcast.
That's a good call.
But even so, you're in an open relationship. It's like you're still like if you meet someone, like there's still that connection. Now maybe it's not emotional or deeply long term intimate. Yeah. But like there's still an attraction.
There's that moment.
Like, exactly.
It's funny actually. I talked to my girlfriend about this weekend, and it's like I rewatch. I introduced her to Hassan Minhaj's special Homecoming King or whatever it was I mentioned to you a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. One of the things he says in it, he's talking about like the first time he fell in love or whatever, and like I won't give away his whole jokes or whatever, but essentially like when he gets heartbroken, he makes a statement to the crowd talking about how like. No love is like that first love. Like a lot of you may be here with somebody tonight. You turn to them, you're like, no. It's even better. You're lying. Yeah. The first time you fall in love is just different. You know what I mean? And the second time is different, and the third time. But like one of the things I recall about all those times falling in love, the first few times I did, and especially when I was younger, right, is like I fell in love with these moments in time. I fell in love with these experiences that I had with these people, and they were meant to be temporary. You know what I mean? I had awesome experiences. I fell head over heels in love plenty of times in my life with plenty of excellent people, and those are great memories I have. And I think the love you start searching for when you're older is about somebody that like I don't want to just have a moment. I want to have a I don't need this feeling that's so overwhelming that like it will fizzle out in a moment. I need something that's maybe a little less like severe than that all the time, a little less like explosive, a little less fireworky, you know what I mean? But like a lot more just like I want this forever. Like I want to wake up every day and like this makes me feel good, this makes me feel whole. And I think the types of like feelings I used to get when I was younger, I still have those, and I'll meet new people, and I'll have these nights out, or I'll have these month-long communications with somebody. And it's like, oh my god, I'm infatuated with this person. They're so cool. They're so interesting. They're so hot. They're whatever. And it's like we can have that, but like I don't view that the same like intimate way. I guess like at the end of the day, like anything we're gonna do like physically, like I guess I remove a certain amount of intimacy from like. Yeah, like it can be intimate. It just has to be like very much acknowledged and clear that this is a momentary intimate. Like this is not a long-term intimacy.
Yeah, it's not anything that's going to be built upon.
Yeah, like this was cool, and like I'm glad we both enjoyed this, and this was fun, and we can be friends and like still hang out and like whatever. But like this didn't like this is not a sign of something bigger and deeper that we need to explore.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, and I completely I can feel that, and I can relate to that more than I can relate to like the transactional relationship with sex worker. I would be, let's say like I don't know how much like a sex worker would cost. Let's say like $300 or something like that.
That's a nice sex worker.
Okay, I would feel more comfortable like having a friend like that's kicks it. Maybe we hooked up once. And then, like, maybe she's like, hey, I need to borrow, like, $300. And I'm like, all right, we'll just have it. Take it, And then, like, then we're, like, friends. And then, like, I'd much rather do it like that there's a relationship, there's an investment into it. And he's like, yeah, I can't pay you back. I hear
where you're coming from on that, but I view those differently. Like, I would never have somebody I'd like hung out with and kicked it with come to me and be like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you for $300. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that sex is included.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody like I'm cool and they're like asking me to borrow money, yeah, sure. But at the same time, like if like my fucking favorite porn star was hanging out at the same bar as me, I was like, yo, that's, I don't have a favorite porn star because I watch all amateur porn because, fucking, I'm in the weird part of the internet. But I don't know, like, let's rewind 15 years and I'm, if I'm 22 and I'm at the bar and, fucking Jenna Jameson or Tila Tequila or some shit that I'm like waking into in those days. I'm like, yo, like, cool, like, we have a couple drinks or whatever. She's like, hey, like, you want to come back to my hotel? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And she's like, it's going to be, $500 for the night or whatever. Like, I'm still probably not pulling the trigger because that's not my move. Yeah. But like, I don't think like that's not wild to me.
I wouldn't like be like, oh well, you shouldn't have done it. That's a poor investment.
But you know what I mean. But like, but that's what I'm pointing. It's like it all depends. Like, how much is it worth to you? I guess is always the question, right? And so to your point, like if it's your favorite porn star ever, is it the hottest model you ever seen? Is it a SI swimsuit cover girl?
That's different.
Is it the hottest chick you went to high school with? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it, like everybody has a different itch they're trying to scratch, and that's what makes prostitution viable, right? Yeah. It's like everybody has somebody that they're like looking to recreate or a memory or a fantasy or whatever they're trying to tap into. Yeah. So long as like somebody out there is willing to do that for you, you'll pay that price. Yeah. And that's why girls will sell you pictures, your favorite costumes. That's why people fucking sell used panties on the internet, like all this weird shit. People pay people to come walk on their back. Yeah. Like everybody's got like a thing they're trying to get.
Yeah, and so with that being
we're just lucky that ours don't usually require me to pay anyone for
it.
I can usually convince people to do what I want to do without cash.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't judge anyone for like whatever actions they do as far as sex work or whatever. But my thing is like the conversation and the relationship and the intimacy and like letting it evolve to something else, and then if sex happens, then it's like it's almost cooler then.
No, it's always cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I guess that's my thing. Is like I agree with that. I also like I can see the value in transactional sex work.
Yeah. I mean, especially for some people who don't like. They don't enjoy. They just want the the intimacy, and they don't know how. Maybe they don't have the skills of like.
Or the flip side, like. A lot of people, like, there are things they want to do sexually that they don't want to do in an intimate setting. Mm-hmm. Like, there are plenty of things I've done sexually throughout my years that were dope that I don't really want to do with my girlfriend. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not trying to fist my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, do I like fisting people? Back. It's dope. You know what I mean? Like, by all means, give it a shot if you've got somebody in your life, like, willing to do that. But I know a lot of people don't. Yeah. But I know there's definitely people on the internet you could probably pay to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Luckily, I didn't have to have that problem. I had people in my life who were like, yeah, I want to do this. And it was a great experience. But, like, I don't necessarily think... You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's available to everybody. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, has any girl ever pitched you that?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't on board.
You wasn't with it?
I wasn't with that.
Yeah, y'all was too big, dog.
I got big hands, dog. I'm not trying. What am I gonna do after that?
I got little hands, man. I fit right in. So yeah, that was a wild tangent on a whole bunch of shit. I know. But TLDR, don't pay for photos. If you're gonna pay for it, go get at least like a real live sex worker. I think paying for photos is sucker shit.
Yeah, I'm not paying for photos.
Or apparently in Chris's eyes, at least go get the Instagram boomerang, the 3-minute video, and throw a couple ones at it.
Throw a little bit at your Patreon.
Exactly. Throw a little bit at the Patreon. We'll throw a little bit at your amateur night on Tuesdays. I guess transitioning off of sex work and sexual shit in general, you said you had an update on the Adam 22 shit?
Yeah, man. Okay, this is kind of a weird transition because like right after we did that podcast, he dropped us like over hour long interview with DJ Academics where he addressed all the accusations. And so like I got a few
on academic shit or on his shit?
On academic shit. Mm-hmm. And he wanted it that way because he knew Academics would go hard, ask him all the questions and shit. And,
like shout out to DJ Academics. Like I kind of clowned him when I first came across him. I think he's like kind of corny, but like I think honestly it's just because he kind of like one of them new style niggas. Yeah. Like he takes people to task. Like he does his job.
He does his job. So with that being said, he answered. So I was like, when it ended, I was like, yo, he addressed all the issues. One, he was like, I did meet this girl when she was 16, but I didn't have any sexual relationship with her. We met on like some forum, some online forum. We talked. I didn't know how old she was. When she told me how old she was, I stopped talking to her immediately. we did reconnect later, 3 years later when she was 19, and that's when we had sex. That's when everything emails that I put out there was communicated.
Dates on the emails back that up?
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently
cool.
so. And he was.
That was my whole question.
Yeah, and so and then like he just aired out a bunch of shit. Like he just literally laid it out, like all the shit he's done. Like he's like, yeah, this one time I did grab this girl and it was aggressive, but someone broke it up. And it was fucked up, but like this was like 10 years ago, and I'm friends with this girl to this day, and we're cool. And like he was just like airing anything that like someone could say. He's like, yeah, I made some comments joking about underage girls before, but it was when things like you could joke about stuff and people knew you were joking. Like I would never. Like,
it feels like I truly believe that this is going to be a problem. Like in the next like 5 or 6 years, as this generation gets a little older, it's like. It sounds like a weak excuse, like, oh, it was a different time and whatever. I hate when older people say that shit to me.
Yeah.
But like, if you look back on like internet humor, especially in like 2002 to like 2010, 2011. That's a different fucking era, man.
It is.
Like,
it is. You can get away with everything.
Like, y'all think like y'all have like savage memes and shit. Like bro, no.
Finding out who people were.
That's what I mean. Like, this shit was completely anonymous. Niggas would make you kill yourself on a forum on dial-up internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was getting roasted in chat rooms.
Yeah, it was bad. And it was for like no reason. People were just going at you.
Right. And then like later on, like the Is Anyone Up and like revenge porn days. Like the internet was a fucking...
It's a Wild West.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I feel like I'm gonna probably have to drop an Adam 22 style video one day.
Dude, here's the thing. Like, so today, so I was like, yeah, man, like I respect that, and I think he's like cleared it up, and he was like, yeah. So if he's like, I don't think anything more would come from this, but because like pretty much, I've given all the evidence, and the police. I mean.
Did she press charges and shit? What's the deal?
No.
Okay, so this just came out.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's probably going to corroborate that they hooked up when she was 19 and all that.
I don't know.
I don't know if she will. I'm saying like there's nothing to suggest like she feels like victimized by this.
I
like,
think so.
She's
I
not
think that's why
like
she was. I think she started it, and that's why.
Oh, really?
And she started it because, and what he was saying, he posted some things about her relationships after they had it online, and she thought that this was her way to get back it up.
Gotcha.
But today, like I just saw that like 2 girls came out anonymously saying that he just legit raped them, and they met on forum.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm sure he's gonna.
And that's what's tricky about the get out in front of it thing is when you say I've done this and this got like blurred a line and this person stopped me and that was fucked up. I'll always commend that, not as like a PR move, as somebody with a fair amount of bad decisions in my past that like you have to acknowledge and own up to and like live with. You know what I mean? And it's like, so if you come out and you say that, but then it leaves the door open for anyone
to be like, oh, he didn't do that,
or worse yet, if you really have some shit in your like closet, you got skeletons, and you try this get out in front of this shit and like miss a couple, whether intentionally or not. Like that shit is going to look horrible, bro.
Yeah,
like that's not good for you.
Yeah, and here's the thing, the anonymous thing is a little.
That always seems sketchy.
It's like, dude, like you gotta stand up. You're gonna destroy someone. Like stand up in front of it, And granted, like,
and that's a hard thing to do. Though. That's the thing. Like, it's hard to say, like. It's your responsibility to stand up and identify yourself against this like famous figure and accuse them of raping you. Yeah. Like that's a lot to ask.
That is, but if it's true and it happened, then like it takes, because now it's like,
here's my thing: if you're gonna come forward anonymously, you got to come forward with like significant proof.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? If it's just your story that's uncorroborated, it you should put your name to that.
Exactly.
But if you're coming out and like here's a video, here's text message, here, like evidence, then it's like. I respect staying anonymous naked. Like you submitted like the story from your point of view. Like you have every right to stay out of that. Yeah. But you can't just come out here like throwing shit willy nilly and like not bringing no evidence. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll keep you posted on what goes on with this. If he's innocent, man, then I wish him the best. Hopefully he can get through this. If he's not, and then hopefully he gets whoever's coming to him, and hopefully the victims are okay. But I'm little like I'm always a little bit weird when like someone's about to get a massive deal and this is when everyone pops up. It's like,
what's he about to get signed to?
He just signed a deal with, I want to say Atlantic or someone, one of the music.
Podcast is signing like mad record labels.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get out here, bro.
Exactly. But yeah, so
Warner
I'm
Brothers,
always a little
sinking.
sketchy there. So I'm gonna get, and I don't think he's a scumbag like that. I think he's a little bit of a scumbag.
I think he's exactly who he claims to be.
As
He's
much
like
as
that
we
early
are,
2000s like internet scam.
as much as we are a scumbag, I think that's how much he is a scumbag. You know?
That being said, he reminds me of that category of dudes, kind of like all like the scene kid punk rock kids of those 2000s era, and we were all like, oh, they seem like a little douchey, but not that bad. And you hear all these stories coming out about these dudes like raping girls at shows and underage fans they took back to the green room and got hammered and like all sorts of fucked up shit. So like, could be another one of those. I have no idea. I hope not, because I fuck with Adam 22, and
hopefully
I guess we'll see. Speaking of people I fuck with in violent and fucked up circumstances, Fabolous is my dog, bro.
Yeah, man.
I've been fucking with Fabolous for a long time. I was Harlem Shaking the youngin'. I was You Can't Denying Everything. I was, fucking the 6-panel hats.
Yeah.
I've been on my Fabolous shit for a long time.
Yeah, this is tough, man. So
Street Dreams Part 2, the mixtape, is still heavy in my rotation.
So if you guys didn't get the word, Fabolous was last week. Fabolous got accused, I think arrested, for allegedly attacking his baby mama and his girlfriend. I don't even think they're married, but they live together. Apparently, he punched her several times. Allegedly, like she lost a few teeth. I don't know if that is true, but a video surfaced of the Emily B, I think is her name. Emily B's father showed up, confronted Fabolous. Her father and Fabolous were getting into it pretty aggressively. He was threatening him. Emily was there. He kind of threatened her to the like. It was wild, man. It's like a side of Fabolous that we haven't seen before. Yeah, like is there a worse time for Fabolous to do this? Like, he have picked the worst time to do that. Like, just any time to beat up your girlfriend, but allegedly. But if regardless of whatever happened, because we weren't there, so we're in like the court.
And the video doesn't show. That's not us being like biased. Like I saw something, I'm like dodge it. Like the video starts with like. Judging from the reactions on all sides, something probably happened. But I don't know what happened, so I'm not going to say.
It does not look good for Fabolous.
Let me be the first to say this. As a longtime Fabolous fan, did anyone think Fabolous, did anyone think he could even fight, let alone was like this violent, maniac?
That's what I'm saying. He's
a pretty boy nigga.
Dude,
he's definitely slinging some shit, but I feel like he was like a clean dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much had a flawless 20-year career of most controversy. There was that one time he got shot, but besides that, which
for that era was kind of par for the course. Exactly. As fucked up as that is to say.
Yeah, but this is a time where you fall off.
Also, I gotta say, I think I mentioned it when we talked about style icons on this show. Fab is a style icon, man. Fabolous is the only dude of his age who can really dress like young cats, and he's been doing that pretty much since he hit 30. Yeah. He was the only 30-year-old who could dress like he's 20. He's the only 35-year-old who could dress like he's 25. He's the only 40-year-old who could dress like he's still 25.
Yeah.
Nothing looks wilder than a 40-year-old man dressed like a 25-year-old, yelling at his baby moms in the street, threatening her father.
Yeah.
This shit is wild, my nigga.
It is. It's sad.
I will say though, I shouldn't say in his defense, but nothing he said makes me feel it looks bad. I don't know what happened, but a lot of the headlines are reading Fabolous wilds out, goes ham. But he said, if you ever come around me again, get the fuck away from me. Those are things we all say in any confrontation. Yeah. If a nigga's trying to be like, you wild pussy, you a coward, I'm gonna fuck you up. My immediate reaction is, while my bodyguard is holding me back, or my friends who are way tougher than me, nigga, I'm gonna see you. If I ever see you again, nigga, get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? That's just common fight banter. Yeah. I think people are probably blowing the commentary a little out of proportion. The part where it does get wild is when she says something and he turns I can't even hear what he says to her, but it's
screams.
immediate. Like, you know, you can tell, like, bitch, get back here, and she like shrieks,
Yeah,
like some
was,
shit obviously happened not long ago.
That was
scary.
That was the point that I was like, ooh, that looks bad. Like, yeah, there was some PTSD.
Yeah.
From like earlier events, it felt like,
or I don't know if it was earlier that day.
Yeah, I don't know. This one's a tough one. There's still a lot. I mean, they're going to dissect his whole relationship and what really happened. They're going to find out what happened, and especially if she is if her and her father are going to, make sure that Fabolous gets convicted on this, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like that's the plan. And it doesn't sound like, put it this way, I'm going to read you his lawyer's complete statement.
Yeah.
This is only an argument. There certainly is no crime being committed. If what you see in the video were a crime, we'd have to build more jails. And that's it. If your lawyer's only got 2 sentences, lawyers do one of 2 things in all situations. Mm-hmm. Anyone who's ever been to court knows this. Mm-hmm. They either tell you to shut up and say as little as possible, or they talk too goddamn much.
Yeah.
If he's talking too goddamn much, you're in a good position. Mm-hmm. If he's telling you to shut up, you're in a bad position.
Yeah.
If he's issuing 2 lines of a statement, you're in a bad position, dog.
Yeah.
It's never good.
Yeah.
Never good.
I mean, he's definitely...
Maybe it's different when you're famous, but my experience.
I just think that, like, even if he gets off on this legally, in this time, in this age, I mean, career-wise, I can't see any redemption.
I'd like to think that to be true. I'm not 100% sure of that. If he gets off legally, I think it's different.
I think it'd be very tough still.
I think it'll have a lot to do with how he gets off legally and what the relationship with her and or her family is afterwards. Yeah, I'm not trying to bring up the past or talk ill of one of my favorite people in media, but like Joe Budden's very successful right now.
Yeah, that's true. But his happened before this
era.
Yeah, this era, and he confronted, and it will be how if Fabolous doesn't have the personality of Joe Budden, Joe Budden was super on top, and they're good friends, but Joe Budden was super no, I did this not happen, this will happen, blah blah blah. And so it's going to be significantly different. Joe
Budden, to his benefit or his detriment, will always continue to talk as long as you'll listen to him.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I like about people like that, myself included, is you'll always know where I was coming from, and that at least makes things easier to understand. And it's if you can paint the whole picture, just not one side of the picture. And he does a pretty good job at that, even in things involving himself. And I think that makes it easier to see through the bullshit sometimes.
Yeah.
There's still some bullshit with him, but he's usually easy to pick out on that.
Yeah.
I know we got to wrap up soon. There's a couple other quick things I did want to get to. Cardi B using a ghostwriter. You seem to have feelings about this.
Now, this is as a hip hop head. I gotta be against hip hop artists using ghostwriters. I feel like hip hop is an art form that's about expression. It's different from R&B. It's different from, Beyonce or Rihanna having ghostwriters to make their R&B songs. Hip hop is a different, it's held at a different level. It's supposed to be self-expression. It's supposed to be, and now it feels more like a little bit like production, and that she feels more industry planned-ish, or they just saw a cute girl with swag that they just build everything around her and push her out here. And
no, I mean Cardi did a lot to get herself on, but once on, the machine is definitely in full swing.
Yeah, but it's she didn't write. I mean, it does take a little bit of credibility. Now, I don't think the audience, besides the true hip hop.
Here's my question: did anyone think a stripper from the Bronx was writing dope bars? Not that I'm saying I love Cardi's bars or anything, but
yeah, I don't think I think everyone kind of knew she had a ghostwriter.
Yeah, she definitely. Everybody knew she had people in the room at least.
We knew that Bodak Black was written by
Bodak Yellow.
Or Bodak Yellows was written by Kodak Black.
Yeah,
everyone pretty much knew that.
And so I guess what I'm saying is that seems to be the new norm.
But now it's everything. Now she got exposed by this new song, so it's
do you feel that way about Drake?
I do feel like as a hip hop, it's a strike against Drake. I do think Drake writes
Keep
most
that same
of
energy.
Yeah, I do think that Drake writes a lot of his stuff I do think he is open to borrowing. Obviously, he's open to borrowing bars. And I just don't. It's a strike against you. Like it's a hip hop thing. Like you gotta write.
This is what
I would never let anyone write my fucking rhymes if I was a hip hop artist.
I agree with you entirely. If what you want to be is exclusively a hip hop artist, I think once you put yourself in other lanes, like it's very clear. Take the instance of Drake, right? Yeah. It's very clear that Drake's number one goal is not to be the world's best MC. It is to be the world's biggest musical act.
No, but the thing is, he bragged about being the best MC and shit like that. And you can't do that.
But what I'm saying is, he's not exclusively that guy. So, like, Drake can write bars, and Drake will bar you to death on his own.
Absolutely.
But when Drake's out doing other shit and niggas still want Drake bars, he might fill in 2 or 3 albums on a track with some other nigga shit. And, like, we have to accept that because he's Drake the pop star, not Drake the rapper.
I don't even think he would take a whole verse from someone. I think he'll take.
I think he's probably had half an album written by somebody else.
I don't think that. I think that like
I don't think highly of Drake, but
I think that he'll get 8 bars from someone and he'll write the other 16 or something like that. He'll get 4 bars from it or like and
catch the full flow and
and I don't think like hooks count but like your bars you gotta write.
So I guess what I'm saying is like I look at acts like that, like when you start when less than a year out the gate you're doing like collabs with Bruno Mars, I'm not looking at you like the killer MC lyricist. Like if it comes out that like Talib Kweli has a ghostwriter, I'm upset. I'm shocked. I'm hurt. You know what I mean? But like if J. Cole's got like a team of ghostwriters, like I'm a little upset. You know what I mean? But like people who make like pop rap music, like I assume they do.
Yeah, but like Kanye, obviously he has ghostwriter. Yeah. But like
Kanye was like he wasn't a rapper first. That's not his like he's a production guru. He's a musician. He's an artist.
Yeah.
In a similar lane, just to stay on that same topic, how do you feel about the Tory Lanez, Eric Bellinger shit?
I mean, I think I see
because Tory Lanez is open about like him jacking other niggas shit.
Yeah, Tory Lanez has always left a bad taste in my mouth.
See, I always fucked with Tory Lanez until I heard that. Have you heard that Yikes record?
Yeah, I mean, I've known this for a while that he's kind of been.
Well, I knew it. I heard my nigga R beefed him to death.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. He always left a bad taste in my mouth. Like he felt like that guy that was like trying a little bit too hard and to be
anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And we never really got a sense of who he was. So yeah, I think he got strikes against him too. The
bar and that Bellinger shit that really summed it up for me. And I love Tory Lanez's music. Mm-hmm. And this is what I mean by like you have to separate people who want to make music as a production or as a whole thing versus people who want to write raps or write lyrics or whatever. It's like Tory Lanez he's a good performer of different styles of music. And Bellinger, he said, your only talent is mimicking any nigga who's talented.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I feel like Tory Lanez's whole career is.
Yeah.
Like he does everybody's style pretty well. So I can put it on a Tory Lanez album and I hear 5 or 6 different styles, all of which I fuck with, all of which are being done well. Yeah. And that's dope. That's a great thing to throw on at a party. It's a great thing to cruise around to. But when I'm comparing musical artists, you really ain't shit compared to niggas who really like doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what that really like drove home for me. And I guess like that's I look at like that's how I look at Cardi. Like Cardi ain't a rapper. Cardi's a production. Cardi's an artist. Yeah. Cardi's a brand. You know what I mean?
She's a personality.
Yeah, she's killing that lane.
Yeah, but
I don't think it takes anything away from her. That
it does. It does take. So you can't be like the king of New York. You can't be the hottest in New York. And you're production. It's the thing.
You got her over Nicki.
No,
who also has a ghostwriter.
Well, now, right? Currently, it's between hottest in New York. It's between her and Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Facts.
But
is Tekashi from there? What's Tekashi?
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
Oh, for real?
But yeah, I mean, with a ghostwriter, it feels like this is just an industry production that they put out in front of us. I mean, when Nicki comes back, she's writing her own shit. She got, and she is a production based on her own personality and the shit that she architect.
I feel. You don't feel like Cardi's authentic?
I feel like her personality is, but if you can't write your own music and people are writing for you and constructing if your music's not official and authentic, then like
I'll say this because I know we gotta wrap up anyway. I feel like the Cardi thing in a nutshell boils down to me is like this is the first peeling of the wallpaper that maybe Cardi's not the like super authentic, always the real Cardi that we like.
Yeah.
That's her brand. That's what makes Cardi like hot right now.
Yeah.
And so like we know that's going to change. I'm interested to see what phase 2 looks like and how she transitions into like being a star but keeping that authenticity.
Yeah,
this is not a great start to that.
She's like a pop-in like authentic personality, but she's not much different than Bad Bobby. Get out
of here.
How are they different? Their personality.
One didn't get popping from a Maury show.
She got popping from Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Like,
Both of them, they're like.
I can't speak that ill of Cardi, man. Like, I don't think that highly of her, but I think more highly than Bad Barbie.
It's a stretch, and they're not on the same level. Like, obviously, I
guess like I always, even for all of my detesting of capitalism on this podcast, like people who play the system well, I respect for their gaming of the system.
Well, I mean,
Cardi,
Bad Baby or whatever her name is. That's what they're doing. They're using her poppiness off of Dr. Phil.
Is she doing that? And she getting some money, but she ain't doing Cardi level.
No, but I guarantee, like,
I hope she never does.
She's getting hits. I guarantee she's only 14, 15. So, like, by the time she's 18, 19.
She's coming to Boston in like a couple weeks.
Yeah. I'm
getting tickets?
Fuck no.
Catch Bad Barbie at the Middle East.
Bad Baby, actually.
Bad Baby, whatever it is. Fuck her.
She's only 14, so, I mean.
Don't fuck her. Don't Adam 22 that shit. I know you want to touch on a couple of sports things real quick before we get out of here. MMA stuff? You had some fights
okay. So I just wanted boxing wise, we have to shout out Anthony Joshua. He won this weekend against Joseph King or something. I forget who he fought, but it was a big fight. He won unanimously. He called out the Bronx Bomber, Deontay Wilder. This is hopefully for the end of 2008 or maybe early 2019. Let's make this fight happen. Like, you go check out these guys. I'm not even a
boxing guy, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, this is two heavyweights.
Heavyweights coming back.
One from London, one from America, one from the UK, one from America. This is big.
Is there anything better than like international big fights?
No, especially a heavyweight one. This is the one that everyone needs to happen. Sad news: MMA Khabib versus Tony Ferguson got canceled. This fight, this is one of the biggest MMA fights, anticipated fight. This is the 5th time they planned it. This is the 5th time this fight has been canceled.
What the fuck is good? Drug test?
No, this one was a torn LCL right off the bone. I think right off the muscle.
You can't do much about that.
And then last time it was like just weight issues, injuries. It's just been a nightmare. But the guy whose fights 145, the champion at 145, is stepping up to fight Khabib this weekend. It's going to be an exciting fight.
150 what?
At 155.
155.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's an undefeated guy versus a guy with only one loss to Conor McGregor.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good L.
Yeah. So
as the selection committee would say.
It's not as interesting as Tony and Khabib was supposed to be, but it's going to be crazy. But that's.
I'm stoked for that Bronx Bomber fight.
Dude, that's going to be crazy, dude. Yeah, they got to get it happening. It's a lot of boxing, so boxing is a mess, but hopefully they get it popping.
Last thing, sports related, because we're recording this on a Monday. National title tips off in 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Who you got? Kansas, Michigan.
I gotta go with
Nova, Michigan. Rather,
I gotta go with Nova. I can't get it past my head that Michigan only scored 22 points in the first half.
That's tough to get. Although, did you see the women's final?
No.
Notre Dame scored, I think it was like 7 points in the entire second quarter, and then came back. Rewind real quick. You didn't see the Final Four for women's, I assume, because who's watching the women's Final Four?
Yeah.
I turned it on because I thought the men's Final Four was on, and then the game was on, so I was like, all right, fuck it, we'll watch the game.
Uh-huh.
The Final Four game between UConn, undefeated UConn, and Notre Dame.
Oh, we got to wrap.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like already running.
Long story short, UConn came back, forced overtime in the last 40 seconds. Again, Notre Dame was up 40 seconds left. UConn ties. Shorty hits a step back, jumper with a half a second left to win the game, beat UConn. Notre Dame, 2 days later in the national title, comes back after scoring only 7 points in the second quarter, down 15. Shorty hits a step back three from pretty much the same place, just 2 feet behind. Same girl, bang for the win at the buzzer.
Yeah.
It was fucking filthy.
Anything can happen in college.
Anything can happen when you're a Catholic school playing on Easter.
Yeah, I'm still going with Nova.
I still got Nova too. Nova plays NBA style basketball. They shoot more threes than everybody. They get to the rim more than anybody. They're probably going to beat them, but I still do love John Beeline. And top 5, we got a couple minutes. Yeah, sure. One of the good things about brackets, one of the good things about fights, one of the good things about sports in general is people to root against. I'm a Carolina fan. My team was out early in the bracket, so I was just rooting against people this whole time and rooting for Loyola Chicago, and that was about it. Who's your top 5 athletes or teams to root against?
Obviously, I'm from Ohio. I'm from Cleveland, so I hate Michigan.
Okay.
Steelers.
Michigan, University of Michigan.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Is,
no wonder you're rooting for Nova.
Exactly.
I don't know why I even asked you that question.
I
apologize. That's disrespectful.
Exactly. So as far as players, I always, had beef. I was a Jordan guy, so Reggie Miller.
Ooh, okay.
And then who else didn't I like? Joakim Noah.
Oh my God.
And they
ugly style.
Yeah, they beat the year he played for Florida. We lost to Florida in football championship and the national championship in basketball. So I always disliked him. And then
I was rooting for him.
Yeah, I don't know after that.
Well, sorry to do it to you because I know obviously you're from the Ohio, but like LeBron's easily top of the list. Most fun to root against of all. And in my old
Kyrie now. I mean, since he left Cleveland,
hater.
Yeah, he gets no love, right?
LeBron.
Oh no, Golden State. I forget. How did I forget Golden State? All the Golden State, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, all them light skinned niggas.
we gotta watch sports together because you hate all the niggas I love. I can't stand. Let me rephrase. I have aged on LeBron James, and I like LeBron James, the human being, the man, the businessman. Still my favorite player to root against.
Yeah.
His history of being a crybaby bitch who chokes in like crunch time situations is on par with no other, and it's so much fun to watch it unravel. You got cramps in the finals, dog. Get the fuck out of here, you pussy. Yankees, obviously. I'm from Boston all day. I have very few like diehard affiliations, but I'm a Sox fan until I die. Fuck the Yankees, even though my roommate and best friend is a Yankee fan. NBA, I root for pretty much everyone, so I'm not really a big NBA hater. Duke basketball is number 3 for me, no question. Respect Coach K. Will always respect Coach K. Fuck the Dukies. I'm a Carolina guy. Tar Heels in my blood. Tar Heels through the family. Tar Heels all the way. Florida in general as a college, the University of Florida.
I forget Alabama. I hate Alabama too.
They're so fun to root against. Alabama was also my 5th, so thanks for stealing my thunder. Alabama's my 5th.
I just remember like why you. All right.
They're fun to root against just because they're like just like any other team that's that good. The Patriots would be my 6A there, but University of Florida was the last Division I school to offer scholarships to black athletes. So if you're a person of color and you root for Florida, keep that in mind, and I hope you change your mind. Because they also had Joakim Noah. And that makes them 2 of the most hateable things in all of sports in one place. I'm good. Even though I love you, Billy Donovan. That's about all I got for this week. You got shit you want to get? That's a long podcast anyway. It's an hour 22. That's about it. We'll catch y'all next week. As always, it's been Late to Work, episode 31, not 38. Yeah. And don't be a dickhead. We'll see you next week.
Don't be a dickhead. Peace.
These are the days of my life. To my wedding, you can see that we are what it does. With just a little twist of harmony, but smoking lethal warriors. Now coming to my wedding, you can see that we are more than done. With just a little twist of harmony.